All right, welcome on to the podcast, everybody. I'm Jeremy Arel alongside with D'Lo, and today we'll
Yes,
be
sir.
talking around the NBA. So, D'Lo, it's our first time on the podcast,
Yep,
actually our
yep.
first ever episode. What do you have to say about, what we have coming on for the people?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Me and Jeremy, we've been knowing each other since middle school,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And even like, when we were like on the same team and we just before games, after games, we talk about like he's an OKC fan and we talk about Russ. And then at the time they had like Paul George and we talk about like the Warriors because I'm a Warriors fan, huge Steph fan and stuff like that. So it's been brewing on for a long time.
Hmm.
This just didn't come out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
then we both like, even still talk to this day. And we just, in the party, whenever we talk to each other, we talk about NBA and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys are gonna get like two good basketball minds and me and him play, basketball ourselves. So we're not just like a bunch of casuals that
Hmm.
just talking about NBA just
Yep.
to talk. So
Yep.
you guys are gonna get like, two good basketball minds and we understand each other and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
I'm
I'm not
excited
gonna
as
lie.
well, There's two great people who know the game, played the game like you said, and we know the ins and out of the game, and it's definitely something that you guys can listen to and we'll get a different perspective from guys who actually play the game. So as he said before, he is a Warriors fan and I am a Thunder fan. And, us being two loyal fans to those fan bases, we are also from the DC area, so we also
Yes, sir.
Yep, support the Washington Wizards, unfortunately. But we love the Wizards. We love the Wizards. So, for our first topic today, for our first ever podcast, we would like to talk
Yes,
about the
sir.
biggest thing, the elephant in the room, D'Lo. You already know the trade rumors. So, well, not even the trade rumors, the trade deadline. So, we saw the biggest trade in probably NBA history,
Oh yeah.
between Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis. So, we actually
Oh
got the
yeah.
word of that late that night. It was like 12 in the morning when that came through. So I want to know your thoughts of where Palinka and Nico were going with this, and do you think that this was a great trade for the Mavericks or for the Lakers? Who do you think won the trade?
I think for the short term, like only for the short term, like right now for short term, I think the Mavericks won for short term because right now they can still, compete in the playoffs and they have still Kyrie Irving. They just traded for Caleb Martin
Yeah.
and they got Anthony Davis and he's going to be right back at the forward at the position that he's comfortable with
Hmm.
for short term. And Kyrie has that killer instinct. You never could count him out,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So Jason Kidd is a good coach. They went to the finals last year, and I mean, obviously they had Luka on the team before, but I mean, they don't just make it to the finals last year for no reason. But for the Luka, I think there's long term, like for the Lakers, they're looking more into the future right now.
Hmm.
Um, because they let go of Anthony Davis, like they're big, the guy that they won the championship with in the bubble, and they sacrificed him to get like one of the best young stars,
Hmm.
arguably is the best young star
Yep.
in the league right now. And now they're trying to build around him, trading for Mark Williams. And I I still kind of find that like Dalton Connect trade a little
Yeah.
questionable.
I didn't like
I'm
that. I
not
did not like that at all.
like because that is that's the best rookie right now in my eyes that I see in that draft class, this year's draft class. But besides that, I mean, I think they ready to build without LeBron. If LeBron wants to go for a championship this year, I say they add another piece. But the Lakers, like in Rob Pelinka, is looking more forward to like the next chapter of Um, the Lakers right now. But the Mavericks are like win now. Like
Yeah,
that's
this
all
like
they care
go.
about.
Yeah, I agree with the Mavericks thing. They definitely look like a great team, and adding on Caleb Martin as an addition, it's just fulfilling the roles of what they need. And I think for sure putting Anthony Davis at the position that he wants to play as a power
Mhm.
forward is definitely a good move. Only issue I have is how long do they have as Kyrie and
Yeah,
Anthony? How long can you get out of them, and how far can they go as a team right now?
yeah,
With the Lakers, I definitely do think that it's like they're looking for a new chapter with Luca. But the only issue I have is with this move, does this mean LeBron is gonna like with this telling me it could either tell me LeBron is not gonna play or LeBron wants to play a couple more seasons with Luca.
Right,
I don't know. And
right.
I would love to see Braun play at least three more seasons with Luca or something,
Mm,
but this tells me it's either or. Is Pelinka looking towards the future? Is Pelinka trying to win now? And then if they can win, will Braun stay another year? Or if Braun
right.
can at least see the finals, will you see the vision? And I definitely do think getting rid of Dalton Connect is a little iffy. I'm not too sure about that. But I'm not too sure about it. But Mark Williams was definitely a good addition, bringing in
Oh
a
yeah.
center. And Jackson Hayes, the other night he had a big night against the Clippers, but can you still get
Yeah.
that out of Jackson in the playoffs? And that's the
Right,
only issues I
right.
have with that. The guard position looks good, but the bench, it's like now you got
Yeah,
Gabe Vincent coming off the bench. I love Bronny, I hope for Bronny the best for Bronny, but that's your next
yeah,
option third. So I definitely do think we're gonna have to see a lot going on from the season, but I definitely think the Mavericks won the trade for now. But
yeah.
longevity wise, it's definitely the Lakers.
Oh, for sure, I agree. And yeah, like you said, like but the thing with the Mavericks too, I just don't understand why. I'm not. I just think the timing is just bad
Hmm.
because I mean the guy just. I think didn't Luca lead the lead in scoring last
Yeah,
year,
he
if
led the
I'm not
league. Yeah,
mistaken.
he was the offense in the playoffs too. That was the full offense right there. And I was just like,
Right.
why get rid of the guy who was your offense? Like him and Kyrie. I remember they said Kyrie and Luca wasn't gonna gel. Those two were not gonna gel. They both want to hold the
Yeah.
ball, but they were perfect together, and I
Oh yeah,
thought
for
that
sure.
they were great.
Yeah, exactly. Because you look at the team, like I'm not gonna lie, you look at the teams that they beat too. Like they beat
Hmm.
Clippers, OKC, which is I thought that game. I thought it was gonna go to Game 7, low
Yeah,
key.
I thought that
But
was gonna go to Game Seven too.
and then they just mollywopped the Timberwolves.
Hmm.
Like
I was.
they just kind of just went through the West.
Hmm.
But I mean, obviously, the Celtics had like so much playoff experience, so that's
Yeah.
why they won the finals the way how they
Hmm.
did. But like that was just last year, and then you let go of the guy, your main guy.
Hmm.
I was for certain that he was going to be a Maverick for life, just like Dirk Nowitzki.
Exactly,
But
just like Dirk. Exactly.
because I mean, it was shaping up to be like that. Because I know Mark Cuban is the owner; he's not the GM. But Mark
Hmm.
Cuban was like, bro, like Luke is untouchable. So that's
Exactly.
why when Shams reported it on the first time, we all thought it was fake. Like, and then it was the time, like it was late at night. Like, what
Hmm.
is we talking about?
And we
And
get
then
Woj
everybody
bombs too. Yeah, it was like a Woj
Woj
bomb.
bombs. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
wait
just
a
like
minute.
it was like what? It's the first Shams bomb? Like, there's no way.
That is right, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's probably like you said. Like, because I mean, even though Anthony Davis is starting to like he's still in his late 20s, he started getting his 30s, but he is still like a high level All NBA player.
Hmm.
Despite the injuries. I mean, that's another thing. That's probably why the Lakers were so comfortable, like they just trade him because he was injured. But I blame most of that on them, like, with the coaching staff that they, hired. Not saying JJ Redick, but you signed Darvinham and he
Yeah.
having to play five all the time. Like,
Hmm.
that's not his position. His position is the four. And
Hmm.
he's the most successful when he is playing his position.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, this trade is. I'm not gonna lie. Like we gotta see. We gotta see it play out to really like see what the direction is going. But from
Hmm.
what I'm seeing right now, I'm thinking the Mavericks are gonna go out like come out guns blazing. And I'm not saying the Lakers ain't either, but
Hmm.
I think it's gonna take the Lakers a little bit more time to gel than the Mavericks.
I think definitely, but if this Mavericks team goes not to plan where they are not a deep playoff run, I mean, Nico has a big resume right now of big things he's done. With Jalen Brunson, he let Jalen Brunson walk. Jalen was adamant on signing a contract with the Mavericks. He said he would love to re-sign in Dallas, and he let him walk, and he's now a superstar in New York. And Nico was actually the president. I think he was the VP or something for Nike, and was the reason why
Oh
Curry
yeah,
didn't sell. He didn't sign
yeah,
with Curry because
yeah,
he told Curry he wouldn't give him a signature deal, and no
yeah.
shoe for him. And Curry walked, and now look at him. That's a lot of money missed out. So if Nico does not I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know. I mean, the vision's kind of there. I can see it, but if they don't win a chip this year or next year, like This is not good. That's he
Bro,
might have
you
been out of a
right, bro.
job.
You just brought up a good point, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I
yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah, he
Like he
let
like,
Jalen walk. Like Jalen Brunson, you wouldn't have had to go find Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie's a great guard, don't get that wrong, but Jalen
right?
Brunson, a young stud as he is right now, you let
Yeah,
him walk. I mean, you didn't have to.
let him.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now you let
And they
Luca
let
walk.
Porzingis walk too.
And Porzingis, yeah, and Porzingis, look at him, how he was giving the belt in the finals. Like, yeah, like Porzingis was giving them belts. So it was like you let all these guys walk and trade them away, and it's like there better be something. There better be something that comes from this.
Oh
Better be
yeah,
something.
for sure. Because I'm not gonna lie, if it flops, oh, this will be remembered. This will be talked about for the end of time. Not gonna lie.
100%, 100%. So, what do you think on the Brandon Ingram trade? Brandon Ingram was traded to the Toronto Raptors last night. Do you think that the Toronto Raptors has a chance with Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram? Is that roster look that great, or do you think that they're still not going to be getting out of the Eastern Conference?
I think they upgraded. Here's why I say it.
Hmm.
Because with the roster that they have now, they don't really have like I guess a consistent scoring option.
I agree.
Besides like Scotty maybe. RJ
Hmm.
Barrett's been playing good. I think he's very underrated. RJ
Hmm.
Barrett,
I do think
the way
I think he's
yeah, you know what I'm
underrated. I
saying?
think he's
He's
underrated.
so
Hmm.
underrated. And I
Underrated.
mean, is Grady playing right now? I haven't really
I haven't really
Grady.
tuned into the Raptors game,
Yeah.
but Grady was pretty solid this year. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty solid.
Yeah, so like you add Ingram to the 3 or 4, no matter
Hmm.
what. Like it, and if they can find a way to get that offense like going, I mean, they look the future's bright for them. For
Yeah.
New Orleans, though, I think it's rebuild season for them. I think
Hmm.
they should clean house. It's not because the roster's not there, but it's just like when you have Zion in and out, you have the DeJounte Murray. He's out for the season right now.
Hmm.
And you got CJ McCollum, which he's balling, but I
Hmm.
mean, bro, like you just gonna leave him there? Like you
Yeah.
gotta get he will work somewhere like good, like if he was in a contending team right now. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie.
Do you trade
Yeah.
Zion? Is the question of the day. Do you trade away Zion Williamson?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The way I mean because look, he's good is I don't
Hmm.
know what. Like that's what makes me frustrated about looking at his game. Like when he
Hmm.
like comes back, he balls. Like
Yeah.
he's a walking highlight reel.
Hmm.
But he's barely there. Like,
Yep.
like at that point you're just like on the team just to be on the team.
Hmm.
Like New Orleans have had people and then they traded Wade Dyson Daniels, which
Yeah.
I don't know
Look at
why
him
they
now,
did.
one of the best defenders right now in the league. Like this dude is, if not probably the best perimeter defender in the league for the Hawks.
In the league,
Hmm.
every time I look at his stats, at least 2 or 3 steals a game.
The dude's
Like I'm
nice.
not joking.
The dude's
He is
nice.
so nice. That's what I'm trying to say. Like they have people like pieces coming that like come in and out that
Hmm.
like organization, which is it makes me like question what the more like what are they trying to achieve?
Hmm.
Like they haven't been in the playoffs since maybe I don't know when. Probably what? No, I don't think they made it when Lonzo and Zion. But the last time they probably made it like a good
Hmm.
playoff run was with AD,
Yeah.
and AD has been on
Hmm.
that team since 2018.
They didn't make
You
it.
know?
Was it the play in last year? I think they played. Maybe it was a play in last year, or I forgot
Oh,
what
they
it.
did. Oh, they
I
did
think
make it to the playoffs
I think
with
they played us in the
Ingram.
first round. We played them in the first round,
Yeah,
and Zion
yeah.
was hurt. That's the thing, though. If Zion can stay healthy with that lineup with Brandon Ingram in there, they could go far.
I, they
Like,
they would have went far.
hmm.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like and I just think this is the time for them to just and if you're gonna build, at least keep Zion. If they really want Zion that bad, keep him, but trade everybody
Hmm.
else and just kind of just rebuild. Because I
Yeah.
mean, this is this is ridiculous. Like they can really be like they have shown like last year. Last year they showed that they can be a very good team.
And especially Brandon
But
Ingram too. Brandon Ingram was
yeah, Brandon
balling
Ingram.
last year.
He was cooking. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, like, where is this going? But like now this year, they kind of just been more of a letdown than
Hmm.
anything. And so I think the Raptors made, they made a good choice by going for somebody that can like score the ball for them because I feel like that's what they need, like on a
Hmm.
consistent way. So I mean, yeah, the Raptors, Toronto, they're gonna be nice. I just they just need to figure it out because Scotty, he's good. And I'm not saying Brandon Ingram's ball dominant. They just got to figure out how to like balance that for real,
Yeah,
for real.
I think it's a definitely. I think the Raptors won this trade 100%.
Yeah,
And they have a great young core, and also acquiring now PJ Tucker too, a great shooter, that can
that
shoot the lights out. But this kind of reminds me of when Kawhi got traded to the Raptors, and now he's going to be that primary scorer for the team.
yeah,
But Brandon Ingram is a great scorer in the fact, but it's like the Raptors are a very young team. They're a very, very
yeah.
young team. So you have a guard like Emmanuel Quickly. You got RJ Barrett, who RJ Barrett, like you said, is very underrated. And I think for sure if RJ continues to develop, he can be he could be an all-star, 100% all-star.
Oh
But
yeah.
the Raptors, I think for them, it's just time will tell what will happen. Like that's all I can think will happen. It's only time will tell.
Yeah, like you said, time will tell because they're young. They've been trying to rebuild for like the longest and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I think, well, I guess I count him as a vet now. Like Ingram have coming in, and like you said, PJ Tucker, like veterans that could come in to like kind of like guide the young core.
Hmm.
That'll be good. They just gotta, and then they're in the Eastern Conference too. I mean,
Yeah, an easier
look,
conference compared to how this Western Conference is looking.
yeah, like that's why they call it the Wild West. You know what
Yep.
I'm
Now, speaking
saying?
of that, though, how do you being a Warriors fan, how do you feel about Jimmy Butler now being a Warrior? How do you feel about that?
I was excited, but I was also mixed prior to the trade because I heard like Sham's report. Both him and KD said they had no desire to be a Warrior, which
Hmm.
I mean, at first I was kind of confused on why. I'm like, why? Like
Yeah.
Golden State, we won 4 championships in the past 10 years. We're
Hmm. Yeah.
like one of the best teams in this past decade, but I understood why, and I'm like, it's not Curry, it's Draymond.
Draymond
You
Green.
know,
The
the way
issue.
how he goes about certain things, and I think he's one of the most important pieces we had or
Hmm.
have right now. But it's just like when you shine people away from being on our team, I kind of
Hmm.
don't like that.
Yep.
But now that he is on our team and he signed the extension, um, I'm not gonna lie though, I think he will make us better. I feel as though Andrew Wiggins, I ain't gonna lie, I appreciated him for his time with the Warriors. But I felt like it was that time because the beginning of the year he was okay, playing mid. But I'm not gonna lie, before he got traded, he was balling.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I, the problem with this team is the coaching. That's what it
Steve
is.
Kerr. You think Steve Kerr's the
It's
issue?
it's I, I used to be the biggest advocate for Steve Kerr, but
Hmm.
I watched the game last night. We blew a 4 point lead, 6 point lead to the Jazz with a minute and 30 left. And Podzimski, somebody
Hmm.
that people flamed us for not trading, he
Hmm.
had 29,
The white
which
boy, right?
surprised me. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, he
Yeah.
had 29. So I'm like, okay, I see some promise in him. I mean, we still got Kaminga. But it's just like we needed that like all star. We need that another all star that can like elevate our game.
Hmm.
So I hope when he does, play with us, because we got a little bit like we only got limited of games left to play in the season. We need to go on like a winning streak with Jimmy, and
Hmm.
I'm really hoping it happens. Because I mean, even if it doesn't happen, I just feel as though even though the West is hard to make the playoffs and stuff, at least let us get in the play in. If we can
Hmm.
be in play in contention, oh yeah, we probably most likely might get in the playoffs somehow.
Sitting at the
But
11th seed right now, though, that's not too
yeah,
much of a tall task. I mean, you guys got the Suns and the Kings ahead of you guys. Not too
yeah,
bad.
we do,
Hmm.
we do. And the Suns kind of been like
Yeah,
iffy.
iffy right there.
The Kings though, they look good. I ain't gonna lie, their roster look good. I'm
With
not gonna
Zach
lie.
Levine and all them, I'm not gonna lie, that's a scary team right there to even face against. That's what you guys have
Right.
to get out of, though. You guys have to really take that into you guys are both sitting both all those teams are sitting 25 and 25 right now.
25, yeah, we're all tied.
And
Yeah.
y'all played the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, which debatably and actually it's alleged that Luka Doncic might be playing his first game as a Laker tonight against the Warriors. How do you guys think game planning against this? I mean, Jimmy might not play tonight. As they said, Jimmy might not play, but you'll have two guards, as in Luka and Austin Reeves, taking turns against your guys' backcourt. Do you guys think that maybe that there's something where you guys should have went after a lock, or because this is maybe a playoff team you're gonna have to play against, or do you think that
Right.
you guys have something for that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think yeah, that's one of the best. That's a good question, Jeremy, because that's one of like our weaknesses when it comes to our teams.
Mm-hmm.
When we play against the Lakers specifically, like you look at Christmas Day, um, the way how like Austin Reeves was able to like go off. LeBron's going to do LeBron things,
Yeah.
but like Christie, Ryu, like they just
Mm-hmm.
all went crazy that during that Christmas game. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, it came down to the wire, but it shouldn't have went down to the wire when, first of all, Anthony Davis wasn't there.
Yep.
It's just like our perimeter, we just let off threes, like we just let them
Mm-hmm.
score,
Mm-hmm.
like you said. I think Gary Payton Jr. is a good perimeter lockdown. But Jimmy. That's why I also like Jimmy too, because Jimmy can play defense.
Yep.
Um, that's like I don't know if he's going to play today, but we really, really do need to get a guard that can like lock down high level players on
Mm-hmm.
offense. We go against like somebody like an Anthony Edwards. We need
Yep.
somebody that can guard like him
Mm-hmm.
on like all day. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because I think that's what we're really lacking. And I'm not saying Curry can't play defense. No, but
But
he
he's
is
not
not.
known for it though. Yeah.
He's not known for it, and he's
Mm-hmm.
he's older now.
Mm-hmm. Can't move
We
the
need
same.
him on offense.
Yep. Exactly.
And then like Lucas, like you said, if we can force Luka to just like if we can cut off the 3-point line and like force him to drive, I think we will be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the outside of the perimeter and even like the mid-range floater area, if you let him get comfortable and you let him go hot, you're in for a long day.
Yep.
You're in for a long day.
He's going torch. Once he gets one going, he's gonna keep going. And it's not gonna
Right.
stop. It's not gonna stop.
Exactly. So I mean, I think yeah, like you said, we need to get like a perimeter lockdown for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we desperately need a center. My God.
Desperately. Who is your center? Kevon Looney right now?
Yeah, Kevon Looney and
Yep.
uh uh T Davis, I forgot his first name, but he's
Dang.
like an undersized center. He's not bad, but he should be a four for real.
Yeah.
He
So
should be
y'all
where
don't really
Devon.
have a center for real. That's the thing.
No, we
And
don't.
now
So I
I
mean,
don't think Mark's gonna play tonight. So I think it's gonna be also again Jackson Hayes, which is a paint dominant center right there. So that's gonna be a field day for them.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I hope we just get at least get one against them because right now we're 0-2 against the
Yep.
Lakers this year, and I mean, yeah, they always give us problems, especially when LeBron's been on the team. But it's not like you know, like you see them pair against other teams like the Sixers. The Sixers dominated them,
Yeah.
but the
Mm-hmm.
Sixers don't even have their full lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Sixers are able to, compete with
Without
them
Joel Embiid too.
without Joel. Like, you know
Without
what I'm saying?
Embiid.
Like, if they're able to do it, like, we should be able to do it too.
Mhm.
So,
I think any game is winnable for sure. It's just how they game plan it really against this team. And like you said, Braun's going to do Braun things, so it's like you can't really contain Braun. And because Braun, you could contain him from not scoring, but he will pass that rock and he'll get other people
oh,
to score.
yeah.
So yeah, you
Oh,
just can't contain Braun like that. And it's just you got to really find other ways. And now Luka's playing, you got to worry about Luka scoring. Now you got a game plan for him, then a game plan for AR-15. It,
oh,
it
yeah.
it's going to be a tough way to handle things against them. And when Vando is healthy too, I mean that's their lock right there is Vando, and that's a scary lock right there. But once he's back healthy, the Lakers might do something this year. I mean, who knows? Only time will tell for that as well.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so what do you think for the hometown team? For the worst team in NBA history. I mean, that might not even be a true stat, but it's the worst team right now in the Eastern Conference.
yeah.
Very, very sad. They haven't made the playoffs. I think they made the play-in, or I think what they did make. I think they were short of the playoffs in 2020, the 2020 and 2021 season when Russ played. I think they didn't. I don't remember, but I could
It
be
went
wrong.
to play-in.
The play-in,
They, yeah, or either yeah, it had to been playing.
I
Yeah, it had
could
to
be
been.
wrong. That's the last time they went far before, it is
That's the
now.
last time.
They just won. They're on a three-game win streak. They're 9-41. The Washington Wizards. So they made actually three big trades over the trade deadline. They traded for, um, damn, I almost forgot his name, Chris Middleton. They traded for Chris
Hmm.
Middleton. They got Jericho Sims and Reggie Jackson. So adding these three key players, what do you think is the move here? And they traded away Kyle Kuzma. They traded away Jared Butler. What do you think is going on with the Wizards? Do you think this is, I mean, obviously it's a full rebuild move, but do you think that now, maybe in the future, the Wizards might do something now? Are they tanking? What do you think?
Um, you know, I feel as though the Wizards. I think it's sort of like they're sort of tanking, but also building. If
Hmm.
that makes sense. Because look, right. I know Chris Middleton hasn't been the same, since winning the finals or whatever, but
Hmm.
he's still former All Star, former NBA champion.
Yep.
He brings that experience, and he's a veteran. So is Reggie Jackson. He's
Hmm.
an NBA champion. He's a veteran.
Yep.
That's what they need. They need something like in the culture,
Hmm.
especially JP is an NBA champion.
You see that, whatchamacallit? You see that kind of, that trend, right? You win a chip, you get shipped off to DC. Look at Kuzma, look at JP, look at Chris, look at Reggie. All won
Right.
rings and they get shipped off to DC. That's a trend I see in DC a lot, and
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
you're right. But here's the thing. Here's my main problem with the Wizards.
Hmm.
They always get lottery picks or
Hmm.
top 10 picks, and only but one person that I've seen that actually been balling that they drafted in the top 10. Johnny Davis, he barely gets time.
Yes,
Um, Alex Zar, oh my goodness, he's been the biggest letdown of the team this year. I feel
I
like
wish he could do a lot more. I want to see him succeed, but it's his shooting. He has one of the worst field goal percentages on the team as a center. That doesn't make
exactly,
sense to me at all.
exactly. He was like what the number 2 pick,
Yeah, number two could have got
you
something
know.
better.
Exactly. But you see, here the thing with the Wizards, I think that if I'm the Wizards right now,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. Even though they little building because I'm not gonna lie, if you put JP at one, Reggie at two, and then put Middleton at three, and I don't know who they're gonna put at the four since Kuzma's gone.
I
I
put
want
Bilal there.
Shane. Oh, but yeah, yeah, yeah. He'll
Bilal.
be tough.
I like
And
Bilal.
then and then they
Oh, they
got rid
got
of
rid of Jonas. Oh, I
yeah, Giannis,
forgot.
yeah,
Yeah.
Giannis, yeah,
That means
Valencia.
Alex would have to start. They got Marvin Bagley down there too.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I think he needs to play out his potential because I think there's a lot of lost potential in Marvin Bagley. I
Hmm.
feel as though because he's not the number 2 pick in the 2018 draft for no
Hmm.
reason.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying? Like he is the ball,
Especially when he played for the Kings too. He was hooping.
yeah, like he was
Hmm.
hooping. So I
Hmm.
think it is Sadiq Bey needs to come back,
Yes.
like right now,
That
like
is the
Sadiq
that is
Bey.
he's nice. He was nice. Sadiq is nice.
Right. So I think they need to they need to like come out with like a different culture in DC. I'm not gonna lie, like being from DC
Hmm.
and like always looking at the Wizards because I mean, me and you go to Capital One
Yep.
almost all the time,
Hmm.
and you watch them play and you like, bruh, like they can be better than what they are right now.
Hmm.
Because I ain't gonna lie, even though they lose, at least the first second quarter, they're gonna bring it to the team whoever they go against.
I
I
agree.
watched them play against the Clippers when James Harden had 50. I mean, even though
Hmm.
even though James Harden got him out, like packed him up and stuff, but in
Hmm.
the first 2 quarters, you're looking like, oh, they actually like going like score for score with them. So I feel as though, and like that's the thing. You look at, I know this is like kind of off topic, but you look at the Washington like Commanders
Hmm.
and see how Jaden Daniels completely changed their culture.
Completely. Look at this shit. Look at
Complete,
DC. We have now finally have a culture of football now. It's
right.
something we didn't have. We haven't
We
had that in
didn't
a
have that.
while.
Yeah, right. So I think, like, and this is where I'm getting to. You tank, and if you can get that number 1 pick and get Cooper Flag at Duke, is over. Because not only that you get a generational talent, but you can build around the guy too.
Hmm.
And he's a winner. Like, the kid's from Maine, and he's a winner.
I
And right
agree.
now, Duke is sitting at 2 losses right now, and it's only been the ranked teams, Kentucky and Kansas.
Hmm.
So, and he's the best player on their team as an 18-year-old.
I agree.
Like,
I agree 1,000% with you. I think DC, what I've seen from DC in the past 3, 4 years of actually just even living in the DC area, it's been a losing franchise. This
oh
franchise
yeah,
has been the worst franchise I've ever seen in the NBA basketball. You go to a Wizards game, like you said, you see other teams come in. It's not even a Wizards home game. It is the Oklahoma City Thunder home game. It's a New York Knicks home game. It's a Miami Heat home game. You got fans coming from different cities packing up the arena, and they're louder than the own Wizards fans. That's
yeah,
an issue I have with the Washington Wizards.
right,
They have no marketable. The team's not marketable. When you see
yeah,
them on the road, you barely see Wizards fans in the arena. You watch other teams play, you see fans will travel way then and far to go see their team play and cheer in the stands, or they have fans in that city. I go to a different city, I never hear a Wizards fan in California or a Wizards fan, and you just that's something rare. Like that's a rare thing you hear. And the Wizards have been on this losing streak forever. I mean, like you said, draft picks that haven't been fulfilled as they made terrible
yeah,
picks. I mean, they let
yeah,
John go, they let Bradley go. I mean, they've
yeah,
let Russ
yeah,
go. I mean, they let
yeah,
all these guys go, and nothing has really come from it. I mean, yeah, now you got Kuzma, which for me, I've been a big advocate of Kuzma needs to go. I've been saying he's been the problem. I mean,
oh yeah,
$90 million for a guy who gives up mediocre stats. I mean, doesn't really
yeah,
even want to lead the team. He didn't even want to be there. I mean, he doesn't really want to be there. I mean, I never
yeah,
really disliked Kuzma being a Washington Wizard. Nothing, no hate to the guy, but he wasn't a fit for the team. But
nah,
again,
not.
you win a ring, you get sent to DC, and I, I,
A,
I like I like Jordan Poole. I think the Wizards build around Jordan Poole. It's time for them to give Jordan Poole a chance and build around him. And I think Jordan Poole has proved that he's an all-star this year. I mean, he wasn't selected, but he should have been an all-star. He's had a
oh
great
yeah,
season. I mean, you can look at his stats. He's shooting 41% from the field, not that great. I mean, his field goal
mm,
percentage and three-point percentage. I mean, his field goal percentage is not that good. He's shooting like 38 from three. I mean, it's pretty good, but he needs help. And I feel as though
yeah,
the guard selection for the Wizards are really good. I like Bub Carrington. He's a great shooter. He's a great pickup that the Wizards got this year in the draft class. He's a great mid range shooter. Bub Carrington's nice. I like Keyshawn George, great sniper. I did like Jared Butler before they traded him, but Jared Butler was nice as well. And I think there's definitely a bunch of people on this Wizards team that they have this young core, but it's time to build around Jordan Poole and get this team straight again. I mean, Jordan Poole is very marketable. The Wizards need to be marketable first off to even sell tickets to get even more money so they can get more players in. I mean, obviously the team's not marketable, but you build around Jordan Poole. He's already flashy, already has a chip. He has a marketable kind of thing, the pool party. You just keep building off of that. You can't build off of Kuzma. Kuzma doesn't have that. So
you don't have that.
yeah, you need to then work on this big. You got to get this bigs to be this big. The center situation needs to be fixed out. With Alex
Oh yeah,
Sarr,
for
it's
sure.
either we fix out that jump shot or we need to get him to be consistent. There's something we need to fix with that. But this Wizards team right now acquiring Chris Middleton, I think this is great. It's a great start. You get Jericho Sims, you can develop him. That's great. And Reggie Jackson was a great pickup, and I'll tell you why. Reggie, I think for this team is very young. Jordan Poole's still young. Bub Carrington still young. Malcolm Brogdon not as young, but they need that veteran in Reggie Jackson, a
Yeah,
champion.
veteran.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He is a champion. Reggie is a great guy to come off the bench, and he can still hoop, and he can teach these
Yeah.
young guys what to do. And that's what they need is a veteran lead, that leadership from that veteran to teach these guys, hey, this is what we got to do, and this, that, and the other, and bring that winning culture back to DC, like you said. Jaden Daniels
Facts.
brought culture back during football in one season. Can
In
they do
one
that? Can
season.
can they do that with Washington? Can the Wizards do that. Maybe not this season, but hey, acquiring Cooper Flag maybe next year and building with Jordan Poole and bringing that. Maybe we might see something special next year, but I really hope for a lot. I pray dearly that the Wizards can do something, man. Because I'm tired of going to Capital One Arena, walking in there,
Yeah.
and it's louder than the fan. You barely hear the watch. You know the other team will score. You know everybody's celebrating. You know SGA scored a long three. Everybody's celebrating, happy, and
This
then when Jordan Poole scores, nobody's really cheering. You know I'm tired of
Sharon,
that.
yeah.
I'm tired of that.
You, Jeremy, now let me bring up a story. Now that you say
Mm-hmm.
now, because I'm not gonna lie to you, you really bring up very good points, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, as far as like JP, because I mean, being a Warriors fan, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we drafted him and he went crazy. He was helped for Curry and stuff. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, he's a marketable guy. So if you
Very
build around a
marketable.
marketable guy, you know what I'm saying, you can get more people there. But you
Mm-hmm.
know how I knew the Wizards organization was cooked?
How do you? Yeah. What do you think? What do you
It,
think?
it was the Bucks versus the Wizards in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I was there as a fan, like, because I used to like work there too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there as a fan, and I guess it was just the Bucks versus the Wizards. I ain't think nothing of it, mind you. It's Cherry Blossom night because they
Oh,
marketed it's
that's a big night. Cherry Blossom. If you didn't
that.
know, that's a big night here in DC. The Cherry Blossom Festival. That's like a huge thing. Side note, that's just a big DC thing. Cherry blossoms are like flowers. DC,
Mhm.
like the whole DMV goes crazy over the pink
It's
flowers,
crazy
bro.
over
It's
them.
it's huge. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing. But yeah, I just had to, let the viewers know what that was.
Oh yeah,
It's
no, for
huge. Yeah, it
sure,
was
for
huge. It's
sure.
huge.
Yeah, because like right, so it was because they had the pink jerseys at the
Mm-hmm.
time, right? And then the floor was different and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that it's just gonna be like Bucks versus Wizards. I ain't think nothing of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why the entire arena was full of people from Greece with the flags up with Giannis's jerseys up. You
Nah.
would think I'm being so serious. Like it
On
was
Cherry
Greece
Blossom
flags
night?
on Cherry Blossom night.
What?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
and
Like
Cherry Blossom Night is where they wear the nice jerseys, the
nice
actual nice ones.
jersey.
What?
Right. Right. I was like, there's no way. Like, that's how much and that's the thing too. Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought I was in Greece for a moment. Like Giannis was getting cheered like he was Rocky. Like you heard this man's like name echoed around the whole arena. And
What?
Porzingis had like a 35-point night that game
And no one cared.
and no one really cared. I
Damn.
mean, at the end, it started getting crazy because it was close game, but
Mm-hmm.
in the whole, like throughout the whole game, it was just straight Giannis jerseys, Grease flags, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that on Cherry Blossom
On
night.
Cherry. See, that's the thing right there. Is that's why I just don't think the Wizards have that fan base that they need. And
Need,
and that's
yeah,
and it comes that comes strictly from the front office right there. And I would like to blame the front office because it just shows that they're not really caring too much about the team too much, that where the fans are not really engaged enough. And it's bad when I was at the game when the Knicks were there and Porzingis played for the Wizards and the Knicks fans all flooded in from New York and they're booing Porzingis as the Wizards are announcing him and he plays for the Wizards. And Wizards fans are booing him too. That's like it don't make sense to me. Or when we're in the Thunder and SGA's taking his first free throws 1 minute into the game and we're already hearing MVP chants all
MVP,
around.
but yeah,
We're hearing
yeah.
MVP chants in a Wizards arena. Are we serious? That's an issue I have, and you
And
know.
even with Bronny
Right
went over
there,
there.
that is a great example. Bronny got MVP chance in Capital One, bro. I done seen it, and I'm pretty sure that was his first MVP chance ever. So and it happened in DC. So that's
It
an
happened
issue I
in
have.
DC.
That is
Yeah,
that is a pure issue I have, and they need to. I don't know how. I mean, I do know how they can fix it, and they get rid of. I mean, if they had Jonas, I mean, they weren't even utilizing Jonas as much as they really
yeah,
should have. It wasn't utilized. I mean, we could go back and maybe sometime in the future in our podcast, we could just watch Wizards games and we can analyze
yeah.
what's going wrong. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it
oh
is
yeah,
not
for
hard to
sure.
figure out what's going wrong with this Wizards team because it's right there. It's all right
It's
there on
right.
film. It's right
I'm
there.
telling you, bro. It's right there. Like
Hmm.
it's too obvious what the mistakes are. It's just so many mistakes.
it's
Hmm.
hard for you to comprehend up here. What's going on
Exactly.
here? Y'all are supposed to be professional NBA players,
Hmm.
you know. And look, right? It goes back to when I grew up. I grew up watching John Wall, Bradley Beal, Markieff Morris,
Hmm.
Otto Porter, all
Hmm.
them
Otto
guys.
Porter.
Yeah, you'll say all them guys. Okay, maybe John Wall was an all-star. Bradley Beal wasn't even an all-star yet. John Wall was the only all-star, and he took that team to the Eastern West semifinals
Yup. Hmm.
against good teams.
Hmm. And they
Like
dogfight the Cavs too. They know they can dogfight the Cavs too. They were dogfighting with
right,
Braun when he came to the Capital One Arena too, and Braun hit that crazy shot. But that's besides
crazy
the point.
shot,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
But see, that's the team. Like that's what I grew up on. So when I look
Hmm.
at this, like I'm like, yo, like what's going on? Like
Hmm.
this, like it's no excuse. And then you're at the Eastern Conference.
That's the big stage right there, right before you get to the finals, bro. That's right there. You
Right.
right there. You
Just
right
right
there.
there. You're right there.
I just
Yeah.
it needs to be fixed immediately.
Oh,
Needs
for
to be
sure.
needs to be fixed. This team needs to be marketed differently. I, it's to a point where it's a home game for another team. Don't got to worry about none of that. Don't worry about you getting booed at the free throw line. Yeah, I don't even know. I think that need it just it's disappointing. It's
It
like
is.
I've lived in the Virginia area for almost all my life.
Right.
Other cities that people have grew up in, they've experienced at least one team, NFL and NBA. The
Yeah.
WNBA is not really marketed as well it is now. Like how when the Mystics went and won the chip,
One, yeah,
it wasn't
2018.
really marketed that well. Like how
Right.
it is now. And I'm very happy that the WNBA is marketed how they are now. And some people
Yeah.
are not baseball fans. Some people are not hockey fans. They're just basketball and football fans like myself.
Right.
And
Right.
we that's what we care about. And the Commanders, they're now turning things around and they
Oh
need a
yeah.
new ownership. And they turned it
Oh
all
yeah.
around. When's the Wizards gonna get that? When's the Wizards
Exactly.
gonna get that?
Right, because I'm not gonna lie, like the Capitals won in 2018, the Stanley Cup,
Hmm.
and then the Nationals won in 2019 and the World
Hmm.
Series.
Yep.
When people didn't even think they were even gonna be like no one
Exactly.
thought the Nationals was gonna win the against the Astros was cheating that year, and we
Hmm.
beat them. We beat them.
Exactly.
And they were beating teams like the Yankees and stuff like that, and we just went over there and just beat them. But
Hmm.
like you said, when is it like it's like the Wizards is the only team that just hadn't like figured anything out in
Exactly.
DC.
And there's been other
And
NBA teams that have been in this position and they've turned it around already.
oh yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. Like what is it? Like okay, okay. And see that's the thing. Even when the Hawks, right? When it
Hmm.
looked bad for the Hawks, they went and got Trey Young.
Hmm.
And Trey Young took them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Even though they're not looking too hot right now, that still happened. Like
Exactly. And
that
it was
still
big. It
happened.
was big for
It was
ATL. We have
big.
never had
Right.
anything exciting that's happened since COVID. Since COVID. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, nothing exciting has happened, bro. Since Bradley Beal has been a Wizard, nothing else has happened.
Yeah, nothing else has happened, which is really unfortunate because I feel
Hmm.
as though and then we're the nation's capital at that. Like it's
Exactly.
in DC. Like DC is one of the most popular cities,
Hmm.
in the US, and NBA is a market. So global, like, I bet you if somebody internationally from overseas, if I ask
Hmm.
them are they a Wizards fan, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say no.
Exactly. They're gonna say either LA or New York. That's the two
Or New
teams they're
York.
gonna say. Yeah.
Right, right. And it's sad 'cause it's like
Hmm.
we have the resources. I mean, I feel like the resources in the salary cap. I feel as though, I love John Wall to death. He's probably
Hmm.
my favorite, wizard of all time.
Hmm.
But y'all overpaid him when he was clearly hurt.
Exactly. Oh my. Exactly.
Like y'all gave him a max. Same thing with Bradley
Hmm.
Beal. You gave him a max deal, and what
Hmm.
just for you to trade him away the next season
Exactly.
after?
And
It's
for
just
what?
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I ain't gonna lie. At that point, y'all might as well just had kept them.
Hmm.
at that point because they traded away for who? Chris Paul?
Yeah,
Just
and
to
then they
trade Chris
traded him
Paul?
exactly, traded him to the Warriors for Jordan Poole.
Which I'm not gonna lie though, that was kind of smart. But at
Hmm.
the same time, like I'm not gonna lie, y'all could have put another package in for Jordan Poole and had been
Hmm.
Jordan Poole and Bradley Bill.
And then had
Because I mean the
something.
war, yeah, because look, like the Warriors were going to get rid of him regardless. Because
Draymond and
Draymond
him, yeah.
Green.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like the front office decisions just need to be better. I feel like there should be more marketing and stuff like that. Because I'm not gonna lie, that's what I've been kind of into. Like for myself, like I'm trying to like see if I can get into their marketing program and stuff like that, so I could make it better. Because I mean,
Hmm.
I feel as though the Wizards are just like a joke in the league.
They
Like
are.
literally in the comment section, when Middleton got traded yesterday, right?
Hmm.
I looked at it. They said, "Bruh, the Wizards are trash. Oh, he got shipped. They got shipped to Cancun." Like, I'm like, bro, and this is not one person. This is the entire comment section. Like, there's gotta be a change, bruh. Like, I'm tired of my city, my hometown team getting like trashed on like online
Oh,
by people that don't even know the Wizards, but they just know our culture ain't no winning culture, so they just, you know what I'm saying, any chance they get, they just make fun of it, Jeremy? It's like it's really gotten and look, right. You're an OKC fan, right?
yep.
Right? Y'all lost Kevin Durant, Paul
Hmm.
George, Anthony, Carmelo Anthony, and
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, and then
Hmm.
y'all just got SGA from the Clippers, and now
Hmm.
y'all are the number one team, the number one seed in the West, or
That's the
number one
thing.
team in the whole NBA.
Hmm.
Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that. And I'm
Hmm.
like, hold on. It's really making me like really question because look, right? All OKC did, it was like, okay, KD want to walk? Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Let's sign Paul George. And then Paul George played for like 2 years. He got traded for SGA and picks,
Hmm.
and then y'all use y'all picks, Chet Holmgren,
J
and now he
Dubs.
is y'all number two, and J Dubs.
Hmm.
So that's a big three
Yep.
from one trade for somebody like Paul George. And that's what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say. The Wizards had Bradley Bill. Bradley Bill was a trading, and they had
Hmm.
Russell Westbrook, and they ain't get they nothing is coming from
Nothing out
that.
of that. Nothing.
Nothing. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, there's no
Hmm.
excuse for them.
Hmm.
OKC had Chris Paul and SGA, a young SGA on the team,
Hmm.
and then they drafted J Dubs and Chet.
And
And
got him,
look how
got
that
Lou Dort, got Josh Giddey.
Lou Dort, Giddy. Like
Yeah.
you guys have a young core
Hmm.
that is contending for championships
Hmm.
in just a span of what 3 years, 2 3 years
Yeah, that was
from
like,
when y'all
and we were
got rid of
still making the
Westbrook.
playoffs too. We made the
Yeah,
playoffs
we're
with Chris
still making it
Paul.
to the
Hmm.
playoffs,
We were in
right?
the
And
play-in. Hmm.
I'm just saying, like Oklahoma City, I don't know how their market is, but I'm not gonna lie. For a certain point in time, when KD left, and even Westbrook, when he started to when he left, you'll think that their market would go down
Hmm.
based off who they had. No, it went up.
Yeah, it went up. The
It
triple
went
double,
up.
the drama, all of that. Like I like that
Right.
because they were. It was when KD started this drama about he wanted to leave. That's when it started to pick up. They were already a finals contending team. They played the Miami Heat in the finals. They lost. Having James Harden and having KD and Russ. James Harden wasn't developed yet, but it was just KD and Russ.
You're right.
James Harden wanted a lot of money. Sam Presti said, "Hey, you're not even worth this much money, so we're going to let you walk." And then seeing how James developed over time, people are like, "Wow, OKC let James Harden walk." He's having a career, seasons and with the Rockets averaging 30 plus a game. Y'all let that walk, but he wasn't developed. But still, people were thinking of the
Right.
Thunder.
Right.
We traded
Right.
KD. KD allegedly snaked us, but we're still getting market from that. And Russell
Right.
Westbrook, I think Russ he did what he had to do for the Thunder, and it was time for him to for his future endeavors. We support him. But we still were getting a lot of market because Sam Presti was making questionable decisions,
You
and
should, yeah,
yeah, and
decisions.
people were like, "Oh, what is this guy doing?" And it all paid off. We traded Paul George. People were like, "Who is this SGA guy? Who is this
Yeah,
guy?" We traded Paul George for SGA.
Yeah.
Who was that? And look at him now, MVP of the league. It should be two-time MVP, but SGA though, we got him,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
exactly.
I do think the Thunder aren't really still a big market team because last season they weren't really airing our games on national television. We still weren't getting our games nationally television even this year. So I still think we're like a medium market team. I mean, until we actually make a deep run in the playoffs, I think they'll start pushing our game some more. But still, besides the fact, people know about us. They know about
Right,
SGA. They know
right.
about, and when you, and like you're saying, what you said about when people think about the Wizards, they'll be like, wow, do I even watch the Wizards? Like, my team's playing the Wizards. That's an instant W. I'm not even about to watch
You
that
get
game.
W.
No, I'm not
Right.
about to tune in, bro. They wouldn't even put that game on that. When's the last time the Washington Wizards had a game on national television? Let's just let that even. When is that? When's the last time that even happened? I think
Bro,
I don't think
I
that's
don't
ever
even
in like.
know.
I don't even think in maybe 3 seasons they had a game on national. They haven't even played on Christmas
No.
Day in how long? They
Man,
haven't.
I don't even
They don't
know.
even
This
choose
is,
them to play on Christmas Day. Like, come on.
bro. Like they just overlook. Like I'm not. It's justified. They can
Hmm.
overlook them because I mean,
They
the Wizards
suck.
gave the NBA no reason. No, yeah, exactly. They suck. They gave the NBA no reason to market them.
Exactly. And it's
That's
just
the
like,
thing, and it's
what
all
what
their
can you
fault.
do? What can you like? They give them the draft pick. Okay, the draft picks are there. They draft like Alex. Sorry, this is the biggest slap in the face right now. What has this dude done? I mean, yeah, he had rookie of the what was it rookie of the month or rookie of the week? What was it
Yeah.
like in January? Okay, that's cool, but like, where you been at this whole season, bro?
Yeah, bro. And you're a 7 footer. Like
Hmm.
more is expected for you because I mean you're a Frenchman, right?
Hmm.
Your boy Wimby over there being rookie of the year, turning that
Cooking
entire Spurs franchise around cooking.
by
And bro,
himself. Oh my gosh.
that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. And look, bro, Jimmy, the Spurs, ever since the Duncan days,
Exactly. Exactly.
now they get Wimby,
Mhm.
and
And
now
it
they
goes
got
right back
De'Aaron
up.
Fox. They got
Darren
De'Aaron
Fox,
Fox and
Chris Paul,
CP3.
Stephon Castle. Oh my gosh.
But that's what I'm trying to say. There's no
Hmm.
excuse for
Hmm.
the Wizards. I mean, yes, I know the Spurs got, historic, like, and they got Pop. They have Pop.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bro, their team was literally nothing without Wemby.
Exactly. They were a team, but that's what I'm saying though. There's been teams who go down like how the Wizards are, down in the gutter, in the trenches, losing back to back to back. And they turned it
Yeah.
around already. And the Wizards have been like this in the dirt for now. This is what, the fourth season in a row that this team's been in the dirt? I'm going to be surprised if they even win 30 games this year.
Right. Yeah, no, for real. I'm not gonna lie. I think they went under 20 or
This is
20 at the
yeah.
dot.
This is ridiculous. They haven't even won 10 games. Teams are already at 40. Like
That's crazy. That's
like
crazy.
how like how can we and you look at the team is how can they restart? I mean they're down in, I mean I think now from the time that they play on now they have no Jonas. Okay, they now bring in Middleton. Alex Sarr now has a chance to be a starter now. I think this is where we now see. This is where we're gonna
Yeah,
see.
this is where we see
This
him.
is where
This is
we
where we
see.
see, like,
Then.
because I
Hmm.
mean, it's like we need y'all. Like the pressure is on y'all now.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I mean y'all lost already enough,
Hmm.
but it's just like now you trading. Let's see how this team goes, and if it's not doing good, just tank for the whole season and try to
Hmm.
get Cooper Flag.
Yep.
Try to get somebody that is marketable next to
Hmm.
JP, and let's build a team around them too.
Yep.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I am like just tired by year in year out, like looking at these guys be the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Like
Ridiculous.
it's ridiculous, and
Hmm.
it's gotten to the point where it's not even like real. It's not even funny no more. It's just sad.
Hmm.
Like people like me and you, Jeremy, or people around the DMV area, we just have sympathy for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't feel sorry because they did that on themselves. They did
Exactly.
that
And we're
to
tired of
themselves.
it, man. It's like just consistently looking at it and just like, oh, the Wizards lost again. You're just used to it. You're just used to it.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, oh, okay. How much they lose by 40 this time? You just gotta pick. You just gotta pick the. You can't even bet on them, bro. You can't even bet on them. Like it's just like you just always gotta bet against them. Like that's the sad part. But for the let's change gears. So for the last trade that we'll talk
Yes,
about
sir.
is the Zach LaVine trade. Actually, let's not even talk about that trade right there. Let's actually talk, since you were talking about the Spurs, let's talk about De'Aaron Fox now being a Spur and how that combination between De'Aaron Fox and now with De'Aaron Fox, Chris Paul, Wemby, Stephon Castle, how that team's going to look. And then how do you think now that the Western Conference as a whole, who do you think is going to come out of the Western Conference?
Okay. Well, let's start on De'Aaron Fox in the move. I think that was a chess move by the Spurs organization.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pop had a say so in this because let's think about it. De'Aaron Fox, he was like the key guy, like when it came to that like hit the beam, like when they had like that little run they was going on that year
Yep,
when they
light
played
the
us.
beam, light
You
the
like the
beam.
beam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he was the key part of that, him and
Mm-hmm.
Sabonis. And let's be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Like that year he played against us. We were the defending champions during that year. And I feel as though if he didn't have play us and he
Mm-hmm.
played somebody else that first round, they could have actually went on a like little run.
Mm-hmm.
Um
100%. They had
n-
who on that
n-
team? They had Malik Monk.
Malik
Um,
Monk, De'Aaron
yeah,
Fox,
Fox.
Sabonis.
Keegan
Was
Murray went
Keegan
off too.
Murray
I
a
think
rookie?
he was there, but he was hooping that season too.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he was the leader of that team.
Had
And
straight
I think
snipers on that team.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then look, he was clutch too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that had to been to say so from Pop.
Yep.
Because he was clutch and then he can shoot the ball. It's sort of like, even though I'm not comparing those two, and I know De'Aaron Fox is way better than the individual I'm about to say right now, but I think to Pop, I think De'Aaron Fox is like sort of like a Ginobili s like
Okay.
type
Okay.
of player,
Mm-hmm.
because he can shoot the ball and he can give you buckets. And
Mm-hmm.
I know, like Ginobili's the sixth man and De'Aaron Fox is the starter, but it
Mm-hmm.
kind of reminds Pop of the way how he's playing style. He's fast, he can get to the
Mm-hmm.
basket, he can play make,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Chris Paul is sort of like his Tony Parker
Yeah.
in a way, even though Chris Paul playmaking skills is way Hall of Fame level,
Mm-hmm.
way above Tony Parker. So I'm sort of kind of seeing similarities. I know it's not to the same level, but I'm getting similarities from when they had that like small little dynasty with the Duncan era. Now that they got Wemby and stuff like that. With now that being said, though, I think this is a great trade. I mean, they needed a De'Aaron Fox on their
Mm-hmm.
team.
I agree.
Um, he played good in his debut. I mean, even though he went 11 for 22, still 50%.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's getting used to the team, and I think I think that make them contenders if they keep at it for real. Because
Mm-hmm.
Wemby is the 7'3", 7'4", like this creative player type guy that can
Creative
give you
play.
buckets, he can give you blocks. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, CP3, a vet, a playmaker, point guard. Like he's the definition of a true point guard. And you have, you know, put, De'Aaron Fox at the two. If you want him to, you can have him play combo. I feel like the team will gel better. And I think, you know, De'Aaron Fox is a good leader and a good piece for them, especially for the scoring, because they needed a number two or somebody, a number one that can, help Wemby out on that offense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like the Spurs, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if they found their way in the playoffs and make a little run. Because I think, with the coach that they have right now, Hall of Fame coach,
Hall of
and
Fame. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, with the team that they got now, they could just find a way. There's still some time left. They got the All-Star weekend to figure
Mm-hmm.
things out, to really like reset. And once, they get comfortable and gel, they can make a little run. I'm gonna just have to see more of that team that they have right now to
Mm-hmm.
really like see if they can really make a run. But from looking at it right now, I think, the Spurs really made a very good, decision to trade for De'Aaron Fox.
Do you think that they're gonna even sneak into the play-in though? Sitting at 12, do you think that team can sneak in or?
I think sitting at 12. So you like you said, like it's difficult It depends on the rest of their schedule, but they're going to have to outbeat Golden State,
Hmm.
Phoenix, and I forgot who else was above us. The
The
Lakers.
Kings. You got the
Oh,
Lakers,
the
the
Kings.
Kings. Yeah, the Kings are above too.
Yeah. So it's like that's a tough task for them to do.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they like were to actually because of their coach,
Yeah.
and the way how their culture is built. They got the defensive minded type of like
Hmm.
team culture. And
And then
so if
yeah.
they actually live up to that culture or like that like representation that they have built for themselves from like the Spurs, if they could just do that and win like games and go on a winning streak, I wouldn't be surprised if they just were sneak in. But if they started to like really like be mediocre, I don't think they're making it to the playoffs this year.
Mhm.
But next year if they can like maybe sign somebody else or draft somebody, that team could be scary.
Low key,
That
I do think they could sneak in. That's a scary team if you think about it though. The defensive mind of Pop and how the Spurs have that culture of defense first, and then they add in the offensive play of how Chris Paul sees the game offensively, and then
hmm
adding in De'Aaron Fox, who was a killer. First off, I mean, he almost, I think he led 1 point of the season in steals. So you got that right there, who is a great perimeter defender in De'Aaron Fox, and you
hmm
got he's great on offense as well. I mean, he's proven what he can do offensively. And then
Oh
Wembanyama,
yeah.
I mean, do we got to even talk about Wemby? Do we even have to even speak about what Wemby can even do offensively and defensively? So, talking about how Wemby and how De'Aaron Fox will gel, I mean, this is scary to even. I mean, first off, Chris Paul and Wembenyama was scary, but now you add in another guard and De'Aaron Fox,
Yeah.
even scarier to even think about. So
hmm
I think for sure this team could maybe sneak in to the play-in, maybe even solidify a playoff spot. But
Yeah.
to go far with the bench that they have now is the only
No.
issue I see.
Yeah.
Is how the bench would end up. I mean, they have a great starting lineup, but can the bench fulfill the needs of how this starting lineup can, like how the West is, and how the West looks
Yeah.
right now? The West is scary.
It
If
is.
the East right now, it doesn't look as scary as the West, and
Right.
like Jimmy Butler said, it's the Wild Wild West. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
teams that you look at. I mean, you look up north, and Portland isn't as scary, but Scoot Henderson's in that entire team in Portland is developing. You're looking in the
Yeah.
Timberwolves, and even Julius Randle's hurt, but you got Julius to worry about. You got Anthony Edwards, and you look at the Warriors. I mean, how Jimmy and Steph are going to pair up. You got the Lakers, how Luca
hmm
and James, and the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers, they're looking healthy, but Norman Powell, James Harden, Kawhi, that's
Oh yeah.
scary. I mean,
Yeah.
can Devin Booker and Kevin Durant do something? Can the Rockets? I mean, the Rockets are scary
Yeah.
too. I mean,
Rockets. Yeah.
Dallas is scary. Now the Spurs are scary. You got OKC. I mean, it's scary to even think
It,
about who will even come out of the West. I mean, that's what I'm worried about. I mean, as a Thunder fan, can we even
yeah.
get past a team like this? I mean, I know we can, but anybody
Yeah.
can get beaten on any given day in the playoffs. I mean, that's
Oh
the
yeah, for
that's
sure.
the thing, and I think the Thunder have great pieces. I mean, I like SGA. SGA to me. When we get into our next topic, which is the MVP, I mean, SGA for sure is MVP, and we have an MVP caliber type of player in SGA. We got
Yeah.
Kaysen Wallace, who is a great player as well. He's really developed well in our system. J Dubs, and got J Dubs, Chet, who's coming back tonight. Um,
hmm
Isaiah Harkenstein, Lou Dort, who the Dorcher Chamber has claimed multiple victims. And our
Clamps.
bench is, yeah, Clamp City. We got Isaiah Joe coming off the bench. We got a bunch of people on our team, and I think we can make a deep run this year. We got more experience as what we did than last year, for sure.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
I think we can make a deep run. But then again, you just can't be oblivious to the fact that the West is stacked now. And
Oh yeah.
that's the only issue I have is, can we stay healthy? And can we continue to keep the foot on the gas? You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you
Mhm.
got teams like the Nuggets too.
Oh yeah, and I
The
forgot about the
Nuggets.
Nuggets with Russ too, and Jamal Murray who's been hooping, Jokic, Christian Brown, all of them guys is nice, and that's just it's scary to even think about it, man. It's just
You know, You know what this reminds me of, Jeremy? I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no,
You know
you
what
good,
this
you good.
reminds me of?
Mm,
I know, I mean, as a Warriors fan, but this reminds me of like pre-Warriors dynasty, how the NBA was,
I
at
agree.
least when the West Conference. Because for the longest time, I'm not gonna lie, when we got KD, it was like a predetermined thing that we were gonna go to the finals.
Already knew, and
You
especially
know,
in the East too with the Cavs.
and it's with the Cavs, right?
Hmm.
I like that the and, like because it shows like with the Nuggets winning the championship, even us winning that year with 20. No one expected us to go to the finals,
Nobody did.
and with the Mavericks, the Mavericks were
Hmm.
like the sixth seed, right?
Yeah,
Fifth seed, and they
nobody
made it
thought
to
they
the
were gonna
finals.
go. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I like how it's like this unpredictability when it comes to like teams in the West because it
Hmm.
makes that is what makes the NBA watchable. I
Exactly.
feel as though the regular season right now is like I kind of tune in then and there, but in the playoffs, the way how this West is looking, bruh, like it's really scary. And like you said, OKC, um, making like a run, they most definitely got a lot more experience
Hmm.
from they did last year. I think y'all got a better team than y'all did last year.
100%.
Um,
100%.
100%, and I
Hmm.
think like SGA is comfortable, way too comfortable
Wait.
against
Hmm.
like you can see
Hmm.
how
I
he
like it.
he,
I like
he
it.
just shot 50 the other night. He could have had
Yeah.
70.
And that's what I think. You made a great point right there. I can't even leave that one point is the NBA is now watchable now. Like that is a great point right there. And you look at how it was before super teams were kind of forming, and now it's kind of like a refresh in a sense that now
Yeah,
the NBA has a refresh, and now the league is looking more like, oh my goodness, this team is not stacked. And this team, they kind of look like the same amount of overall kind of like they have the overall kind of feel.
yeah,
I want to know, I would tune into this in the playoffs, or I would tune into
right,
this in the playoffs. This will be a close game, or this will be a great series. It's not just
right,
a predetermined, oh, yeah, that's just a season sweep, or that's just a series
exactly.
sweep. And that's what I think we got a lot of the past few seasons. Now, when we
Hmm.
got farther into the playoffs, okay, it's kind of different, but like in the West,
Yeah.
sort of, super teams have always been formed in the West, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
what we got. And definitely before pre of the pre of the Warriors dynasty, yeah, definitely for sure. But now that we're starting to get different players on different teams, and now new
Oh
teams
yeah.
have new faces, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is a better playoffs for sure. And this playoffs for sure
Exactly.
will definitely be one of the best playoffs if everyone's still healthy. This
Yeah.
probably will be the best playoffs. We see it in the West. Not too much in the East. The East is kind of still the same to me. I mean, I don't see too
Yeah.
much in the East, but in the West, 100%, this is going to be a
Yeah.
crazy, crazy series.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, like, even like that's what, like you said, like I think everybody's sort of like every team is limited to like 2 or 3 stars.
Hmm.
Oh, 2 stars in like that third like
Hmm.
hooper. Like I call like a hooper like
Yeah.
below the like the stars. Like you got the 1, 2, and then you
Hmm.
have the side guy that just
Yeah. So you
helps
got
the
like the two
group too.
superstars, and then you got like that one star. Yeah, sort of in
Yeah,
a sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and I like that because I'm not gonna lie, for the longest you would see, you know, like that's why I fall back into like the Aaron Fox trade. Like you didn't see De'Aaron Fox, form like team like with LeBron
Hmm.
or anything like that, like because or with the Mavericks or like any other like top heavy team in the West,
Hmm.
because that's just how it used to be, like
Yep.
with the James Harden, Kyrie, and KD
Yep.
fit in the Nets. Like it could have worked, but like it was a lot of that going on. And
Too much
for
going on.
me, for me, I'm not gonna. I know the Warriors, had that little, but it was for my. It was them picking up arguably one of the biggest superstars in the league with the people that they already had already.
Hmm.
But it's like now you're going for people that don't have any like connection with each other. Because with the Warriors, it was like, all right, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they just get developed to be champions, and they just added KD.
Hmm.
And even though it was like
Hmm.
crazy unfair, like 5 out passing, shooting threes,
Yep.
sort of basketball, it wasn't like, oh yeah, Warriors went to go get KD and then Anthony Davis, and then they just form this entire like super team
Hmm.
like out of nowhere. I feel as though, like you said, yeah, I'm just glad that it's just sort of like starting to tone down a little bit when it comes to that because it's like now we're going to see who's the best, like who's really the
Yep.
best of the best,
I
you
agree.
know?
I agree. And this definitely now shows it's like more of a, instead of, oh, the conversations of, oh, this guy needed a super team to win the championship. Now we're not really seeing that. Now it's more of a fair
Yeah.
matchup. Now everyone really has, now, if you really look at it, no one has a super team now in the West. It's just two
Oh yeah.
stars with each other
Yeah.
and a bunch
With
now
you.
the role players. Now, if you can,
Mhm.
that's now that just comes up to just what kind of role player you got and how they fit in the team's offense. But star wise, it's pretty fair to say
It's
the
pretty
least.
fair.
It's fair. It's fair. Luca got LeBron, AD got Kyrie Irving. You can kind of consider Klay Thompson, but that's kind of just I don't really consider
Yeah,
him too much of a superstar.
Clay, yeah, I go like Clay, like he's not on the same stature as he was on Golden State,
I
like as
agree,
he is on the Mavs. Even though he is putting up good numbers,
but
he's
he's
just
not how
not
he
like,
was. Hmm.
yeah, he's not about to take like one dribble and drop 40. Like that's not
Exactly.
going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And that's why I like it because everyone has a second person, and I think it makes the league, the West, a lot more fair. And even then, if there was superstar like a super team, okay, that's cool. But I like this, and I just know this playoffs is gonna be probably one of the best playoffs we had probably since I don't even know when's the last playoffs we had. Maybe since maybe the bubble, maybe the bubble. You
Oh
could
yeah,
arguably say when the I actually don't even know. Probably since the bubble, probably. This playoffs
yeah.
is going to be different. I know this playoffs is going to be different because how many moves have been made just this trade deadline? It's gonna be ridiculous to watch, and this is gonna be must see TV for sure.
Oh, for sure. And I think for the East,
Mhm.
my only thing with the East, I think there's got to be more than just like two contenders because I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's too obvious. Like the
Hmm.
Celtics and the Cavs have been going crazy. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but it's just like everybody else though
Hmm.
compared to them two, and the East is just
You really don't got anybody though in the East. Like you. There's like three teams that I could think that might come out of the East, and that's the Cavs, the Celtics, and the Knicks. Those are the only
yeah,
three things. Like it's the only
yeah,
three teams I'm like, yeah, like what? That's like the only teams that really come out of the East in like the
yeah.
past couple years has been the Celtics who to come out. And to me though, it's like you had the Heat come out, but now the Heat are stuck with Aaron Wiggins and I mean Andrew Wiggins, and
Yeah.
it's like what is there? I don't obviously I don't think they're gonna go too far against the Celtics team, the rating,
Mm-mm.
champions. So it's just like those three teams. I wish there was a little bit more to happen in the East. I mean, they call the East weak, and that's what they usually call
Yeah,
it. But I
yeah.
definitely would like to see more out of the East for sure. But
Because
switching,
Orlando looks promising.
oh come on now, Orlando looked very promising in the very beginning too. With Paulo before he got injured, oh my
Yeah, when he
goodness,
dropped 50, yeah.
I wish the Magic would do some more with Paulo. I wish. I wish we traded for Paulo, to be honest. I wish we
Oh,
did.
the OKC?
Like pre before like when he first got drafted, I think his first season I think that's when we still had draft picks to trade. We should have traded for him. But the Wizards, they should have also looked to trade for him too, for
Oh
Kuzma.
yeah, Wizards. Oh my
The Paulo in DC.
hello.
Yeah, Paulo in DC. Come on now. That would have been nice. Maybe that might have not happened because I think he went what, number one or something? But
Yeah, he went number one
yeah,
and then
but
Chet went number two.
mhm. But I like Paulo. Paulo is nice, but
Oh yeah. Oh,
he is a nice player for sure. But switching gears though, MVP conversation.
yes,
So
sir.
we got right now the NBA has released the number like well voting wise, what the percentage is, the chances of that person being picked as the MVP for the league. Number one right now, Nikola Jokic. Number two, SGA. Number three, Carl Anthony Towns. Number four, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Your thoughts on who the league MVP should be right now, and what do you think about that listing right now? What they have at the current moment as well.
Um, at least for now, because I mean SGA deserves it. Jokic and Giannis all deserve it. I just feel as though it's looking from this year as a whole,
Mhm.
I think there's obvious number one, and that's SGA.
100%.
Because like not only that he's the number one, he's leading the number one team in the entire NBA, but he's not saying he's doing it by himself, but his second, like, and he made J Dubs an All Star. Like when you think about that, SGA making everybody better, you know what I'm saying? And I think he got robbed last year. That's just me. I think he got robbed last year, and I think Jokic, as good as Jokic is, I don't think Jokic needs another MVP. Like we know he's like a star, like and he's the best center in the league. We know that. And he's won MVP so many times. I just feel as though SGA has earned that like title to be called MVP based on like he's taking OKC. OKC only got under what 10 losses. They got above like 40
Hmm.
wins. Like my guy is having a one of the best years. My guy's having one of the best years like any superstar can have. You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
I
And
agree.
I think Jokic, what is it? Jokic and Giannis. Like Giannis, I just don't think the Bucks are having that good. Like they're just kind of like like you look at the like Giannis is probably putting up good numbers, but like when you see um when you see him play and Dame, it's just something's off about them.
Hmm. Hmm. I think they never really developed that much of chemistry when Dame even came to the Bucks, but I couldn't agree any much more than what you had to say. I couldn't agree more. I think SGA got robbed last year. And SGA was one of the best point guards in the NBA last year. He led that team to the number one seed. I mean, arguably, people will say they were the worst number one seed, getting bounced out of the playoffs that early. But besides the fact, SGA has turned this team around. I mean, for a guy who was just a role player when he played in the LA, getting traded for Paul George, was alongside Chris Paul in that bubble, run when they lost to the Rockets, but then he turned it around completely, led the league as a scorer. He's leading right now. I mean, he's dropped multiple 50-point games this year. He's a great defender, too. So we just, don't leave that out. I mean, people will argue that Jokic is a better playmaker than SGA. I mean, yeah, he has more assists than SGA, but SGA, he can play make as well. I mean, SGA is a guy who can do almost everything Jokic can do. He's a better defender than Jokic. Jokic was never known for defense. SGA is a better defender, and he can do basically everything Jokic can do at the guard position. And that's you could say the same thing. Jokic can do everything SGA can do at the as a bigger person. But the thing is,
Hmm.
SGA has made a lot of people better around him this year. As you said, J Dubs, an all star. Jalen Williams was a guy that we drafted. He was still developing. He's shown multiple signs that he could be great, but look at him now. He's turned this team around. They are the best team in the league
I know,
without
like,
Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren
yeah,
has played
uh,
like 2 games this year, and
yeah,
they are the best team in the league. SGA again
that's
just came
impressive.
off of a 50-point game last night. Jokic ain't doing that right now. Jokic ain't the
Mm-mm,
best team in the league right now. So
mm-mm.
I think for
It,
sure. Oh, what are you saying?
oh, I didn't mean to
Oh no,
cut
no,
you off.
no, you good,
No,
you
my
good,
bad.
you good.
Uh, because it kind of reminds I look. I know I'm not like trying to compare those two, but it kind of reminds me of Steph's first MVP
Mm-hmm. I agree. I couldn't
when
agree. I
when
couldn't.
Steph won his first MVP. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was it was like it was sort of kind of like SGA. Steph, people knew Steph had the potential, and he went crazy the year prior. But it was like he had the number one team. He was averaging the most points, pretty much the most points in the league, besides Harden, because Harden was on one that year too.
Open that
But
year.
hooping, but he made everybody else better.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steph made everybody else better. Clay made a name from being with Steph. Draymond made a name from being with Steph, and that's kind of what I'm seeing from J Dubs and everybody else. Look, It's the it's like the NBA. Like I understand stats are important, and like you said, oh, Jokic might be like averaging more assists than SGA, but if SGA don't score the ball,
They're not
SGA
winning
has to
that
score the
many
ball.
games.
They're
Yeah.
not winning the games because
Hmm.
his number two is hurt.
Hmm.
His number two scoring option has been out for the whole year, like you said, and
Hmm.
I think that's just deserving of an MVP. And I'm not saying Giannis and Jokic. I respect those players. I think they're the best at their position.
I
I
agree.
think they are too. I think they are the best in their
Hmm.
position. But I feel as though you guys bet that this is not even their best years. Their best years are already like I'm not saying they out their prime. They're still in their
Hmm.
prime. But their best years came when they won MVP. They already won MVP.
Hmm.
Let SGA have his moment because he most definitely earned it, and especially if he makes his playoff run.
Oh my
That
goodness.
I'm expecting a
Hmm.
playoff run from him this year, and if he makes that playoff run, and then let's say he make it to the finals, that alone, bro, what
I
you
agree.
he's got it. I wouldn't even be upset if he won unanimous MVP.
I couldn't
Being
agree
dead
even more.
serious.
I couldn't agree even more.
I'm gonna be like there's nothing more this man can do
Yeah.
like for the team and for his organization or for the NBA
Hmm.
to be like, oh, he don't deserve MVP because he's checked all the boxes, and it's not like he's scoring 50 against teams that aren't contenders. No, he's
Against
beating
good
teams.
defensive teams too. That's the thing. Like I think for the reason why he couldn't do it last year is because they came up with this thing that SGA, no one really knew of the guy. The games weren't televised to the national audience. And that's what I really hate is about the NBA didn't show what SGA was about. We only saw stats. And like you said before, Jokic on paper he's averaging a triple double. On paper, this guy is averaging a triple double. He's 7 foot. But then you can make the argument Russ did it too. So he's averaging a triple double on paper. SGA's not. But if you look at it though, like you just said, if SGA doesn't worry about scoring, this team's not a number one seeded team. It's just not. They're not a number one seeded team because you look at the playoff run they just had last year. SGA was doubled, tripled. They just were worried about him. And you saw this team wasn't experienced, so they couldn't score as much as they should have defensively as well.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't that great. And I applaud J Dubs. 100% I applaud J Dubs
Oh
for
yeah, for
stepping
sure.
up in the position. Chet hasn't been here, so he has to step up and become that number two scoring option. I applaud him. I applaud Kaysen Wallace. You know, Kaysen has
Yeah.
came to this team and has stepped up as a great player. I applaud also Lutarius Dort. Lou has stepped up not only from being a lockdown defender, but this guy has become a
Mm.
scorer too. So
Yeah.
everyone on this team is stepping up, and SGA is becoming that kind of ringleader for these guys to say, hey, we
Yeah.
need you guys also to be there as well. This togetherness thing it's not just me. We're a team together. So that leadership and how SGA has kind of formed this kind of culture here in OKC,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's unanimous that he is the MVP of this year. I mean, they stubbed him last year. Okay,
Oh
now
my
give it to
God,
him
that was
this
so
year.
bad.
I mean, come
Right.
on. Like,
Right, right, right. Because I'm not gonna lie. I it's just amazing to me and very impressed. Like from where he started in his league, like you said, like as a role player with the Clippers, getting traded
mm-hmm,
for Paul George, and then having that season with CP in the bubble, still going to the playoffs, and
mm-hmm,
then after that, he just took off. And like you said, like. I I ain't gonna lie. If this was anybody else, he'll be marketed more. Like it kind of reminds me. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I know SGA is the MVP, but
mm-hmm.
this is sort of like what Cade is going through right now.
I
Cade
agree. I
Cunningham,
agree.
the
I
point
agree.
guard for the Detroit
Mm-hmm.
Pistons. The Detroit Pistons was like the Wizards, or like in that same
We're not even
level.
about to bring up that discussion because again, that's another team who was down in the gutter, and look at them now. They are looking great now. I mean, not as great as they can be, but they're gotten better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, look, Cade is like he's averaging 20, he's getting like 10 assists a game, and no one's really like it's not that much emphasis put onto it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they might post a highlight, but it's not like how it is supposed to be. Like SGA 50-point game. Right. If it wasn't for House of Highlights, you wouldn't be thinking like you wouldn't think about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
NBA might post it, But it's just like it's not that much emphasis
Mm-hmm.
as if it was like LeBron scoring 50, or if it was like Giannis or Steph scoring 50, there would be more posts about it. There would be
Exactly.
more like it would be like as if they won the NBA Finals.
Exactly.
If they, and I just think SGA is. I think he is the MVP right now, and it's no one else. Like I don't see anybody else get an MVP chance in other arenas on
Yes.
a day to day, on a
On a
consistent
day to
basis.
day.
And I
Mm-hmm.
don't see any other star bringing their entire team to his post game interview,
Mm-hmm.
hyping them up,
Mm-hmm.
putting them on notice on the live TV like
Mm-hmm.
SGA is.
Mm-hmm.
SGA is in the middle of a post game interview. I want to like, and then he brings the entire team like rallies around him like he's this leader, and he's like, "Nah, I wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't be having this." Discussion if it wasn't for the guys around me.
And that's what I like about that. Mm-hmm.
And that is leadership. And I think that's a lost like gem in this league. It is his leadership. So yeah, I think SGA undisputed MVP.
Undisputed for
Without a
sure.
doubt.
Yeah, and that's another. And what you said before is that the league would be riding LeBron if he dropped 50, and no, let him know that is the king. That is one of the greatest players to touch a basketball. LeBron deserves that, but other players have dropped 50 like SGA has done before, even last year. You didn't see that many posts about that. They didn't even nationally televise their games. So I think that was a key reason why SGA didn't win MVP. And I think this year the NBA really needs to take in consideration of what he's done for this entire league right now. Maybe he's not the face of the league, but hey, this guy's playing elite level basketball. Let's take notice of this. And like you said, leadership. OKC is the only team in the league I've ever seen in my almost 20 years of existence. OKC is the only team I've seen at the end of every single game. The whole team does a post interview. That's leadership right there. It's a we
That is
thing. Like
it.
you remember in middle
Yes.
school, it's a we thing. Like
Yeah, we think
yeah,
it's a
it's
we
not.
think,
It's
yeah.
not just I scored 50. This is all me. This is all my teammates are just doing cardio. You know what I'm saying? Or we talk about
Mhm.
it when we get to the media room. No, we're gonna let the whole world know.
Well,
We're not even on national television. We probably just on the Oklahoma City, Thunder streaming channel. We're gonna let
yeah.
them know that we here. We're gonna walk into the Washington Wizards arena. We're gonna do this post game interview. We're gonna let everyone in the arena know we're a team though. It's not just a one man show; it's a whole team show, and that's what I like about the culture in OKC. And SGA and the whole team does a great job at doing. Even if SGA has a bad night, a Wig will go out there and say, "Yeah, this is a whole team thing," or J Dubs will say, "Yeah, this is a whole team thing." Even injured
Mhm.
Caruso or Isaiah Hartenstein, they in the mix too. They didn't even play, but
Yeah.
they still in it too, and I like that. So OKC definitely should be on the watch this year. And SGA needs to definitely be MVP this year. And if he doesn't win MVP this year, I'm chopping off the hair, bro. I promise you that. Hair's going live, bro.
Bro.
Live on the
Bro.
podcast, the hair's going off. That's how certain I am SGA is going to be MVP. He's going to be MVP so badly, I will cut this hair off. And it's probably going to be longer by the time, what, April? So,
April, yeah.
yeah. It's going to be longer, and then I'll cut it all off on the podcast live. We'll go live. We'll go live.
Hey, and no, for real. And Jeremy, another thing too, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even leave this part. I forgot about this part. This will be his second time being the best record in the league.
Second,
Back to
exactly,
back.
exactly. And if they can hold it onto it, number one seed.
He gotta win it. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie, he gotta win it.
And mind
He's
you, they
gotta
just
win it.
exactly. Mind you, they
He's
was
gotta
just a
win
play-in team 2 years ago.
it. He's
Like,
gotta win
come
it.
on.
Like they'll be number one seed back to back years if they can hold on to yeah, he's gotta win it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's gotta win it.
Exactly. So I definitely think I'm telling you, I'm gonna be real pissed. I'm gonna be real pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. I'll cut the hair off. But I think that's all we got for today. That's all the questions I had. Do you have anything you want to talk about or
Um, let me see. Um, dude, I got one more thing.
hmm?
Yeah. I got one more thing, and it's about Mr. Lonzo Ball.
Oh, I might
Um,
swerve in that corner.
whoa,
Whoa, okay, okay.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about Lonzo. I think I think there needs to be a conversation made because I'm not gonna lie. I don't like that he's. I mean, yeah, he just came off an injury and stuff like that, and he used to play for like the Lakers and the Pelicans and stuff like that. But I feel as though he needs. I mean, he just signed the extension with the Bulls, which I'm happy for him. Like 2 years, 20 mil.
Hmm.
I'm happy for him, but at the same time, I feel like he's wasting the years that he have,
With the Bulls.
and he should be on a contending team right now.
Hmm.
Because I think I'm not. It's been a while since Lonzo played. You know, and same thing with his brother. Same thing with his brother. I feel as though the Ball brothers should be on contending teams right now because
You think
I
Jello should
think
be in there too?
Jello. Hey, I think he needs another shot at the league because I feel as though people still linger on to the little incident he had in China, which
Hmm.
I mean they're justifiably right. I don't condone violence. I don't condone like criminal charges
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Hmm.
I mean, but he was held accountable
Hmm.
for those actions, and that was what, like 8 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long
Like
time ago.
that was a long time ago, and I
Hmm.
think obviously he has the song with the tweaker, swerving in the corner. Whoa, whoa, like it's
Whoa.
fire,
Yeah.
it's fire, it's fire. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. I feel like he needs at least one more. Like, give him more opportunity. Let him play with his brothers. I would want
Hmm.
to see. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see them three play on the same team again.
I think though, what you said brings up a valid point. I don't see the Bulls doing much in this future. I mean, they give away Zach LaVine, they give away DeMar DeRozan, they left with Lonzo and Kobe White. Who else do you have on this team to really lead you to a place of the promised land? Are we going to tank?
Yeah,
Are we tanking for a draft pick, or? But you're going to be in the same position you are in now. I mean, that's what you did for Kobe
right,
White. So it's like
right,
you're not
right.
really doing much with it. And Lonzo, who's back to being hurt with his knee, you know,
Yeah,
he's shooting 36% from the field this year. It's
yeah,
not the best that we've seen from Lonzo, but shooting wise from the three, it has improved. Having one of the worst seasons he's had statistically, though,
yeah,
averaging only 7 a
yeah,
game. So honestly, for me, I want to see Lonzo win. I want to see him win. That's my thing. I want to see him win. I like how he was when he played for the Lakers. I like a comeback story. So for him, that's
yeah,
something I want to see, and definitely somewhere where he can contend. Because obviously we know he can play make. That guy can play make. He's the best playmaker out
Oh
of the
my
Ball brothers.
goodness.
I mean, the
Oh
best.
yeah.
That's just what Lonzo can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
He's a defender and a playmaker. He can
Yeah.
score, but he's not. He's known for defending and playmaking. So
Yeah.
that's where I say put Lonzo in a position where, hey, he can go and play make and defend and, maybe score a little bit, but that's really his main
Yeah.
goals. And
Right.
Chicago isn't a place where he's going to go. And
Yes.
we don't know how much longer we have Alonzo. We don't know how much
Right.
time he has before, God forbid, maybe another injury, but
Yeah.
it's time to go win a chip. I mean, and LaMelo, right now LaMelo has a better shot with the Hornets than he does. And that's the sad part to say that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the sad
Yeah.
part to even say that. LaMelo has a better shot right now,
Right.
and they're both not even playoff teams. So it's just like that's the sad part to even say it. So
Yeah, I just, because I'm not gonna lie, like Jeremy, like, I've been a fan of the Ball brothers since they arrived. It's just when Lonzo got in the league, I understand. Like, I'm not gonna lie, injuries messed him up when he got in the league too.
hmm.
Um, And then with the LeBron thing, I feel like there was more to it, but he was involved in that Anthony Davis trade, so they had to give him away. But it's just like even before the meniscus tear and
Hmm.
stuff like that, like he said on his podcast that he has a brand new meniscus, you know, so he has to get adjusted to it. And this is his first season back in 2 years.
Hmm. Yep.
I just feel as though his playing style can help on a contending team. Like
Exactly. Hmm.
his point, like his dishing the ball, his defense, like it's there. I just don't want him to just stay on the Bulls and like not contend unless the Bulls find out some way how to get like rebuild quick. But it's just like my boy's just gonna be like on the bench recovering from like injury and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people like to see his down. I don't like to see his down because I've been a fan, and also I can relate. Being a basketball player myself,
Hmm.
playing basketball like with multiple teammates and stuff like that. That was the role I had to play when I was that guard. I was just dishing,
Yep.
the playing defense and stuff like that. And obviously, with team, like no matter what team you on, that was his role. I can relate to that. So just seeing like him in the highest level in the NBA, like playing for the Bulls, and they got rid of two of his scoring options. Because don't forget, he was going crazy when Zach LaVine and DeMar and Vucevic
Going
was on the team.
crazy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they were like
Hmm.
undefeated for like 10, 12 games
They
in
went crazy.
2021-22.
Hmm.
So it's just that part. Like it's really been lingering on my mind. I'm like, yo, like I think he can have that comeback story or like be the guy that people thought he was going to be when he got drafted number 2 to the Lakers. It's just, yeah, I think more pieces gotta be put into the Bulls if they want to make it work. Because I mean, he's just wasting his
Wasting.
youth. Yeah, he's
Wasting,
just
man.
wasting his youth just being on that team. So yeah, that's all I wanted to bring up.
Hmm.
Because it was just something I had in my mind when I saw him like sign that extension with the Bulls and stuff like that. So yeah,
I wish though. I really do wish Lonzo could bounce back from this. I remember when Lonzo first came. I've discovered Lonzo. He was a flashy kid. That dude was nice, and I wish Lonzo could get back into that kind of where he's back to being confident but also healthy again. And I know
yeah.
the shoes that his dad made kind of messed up,
Oh
where he was
God.
at the ZO2s, but I want we all want the old Lonzo back, but it's just yeah, go get your bag with the Bulls. Yeah, go get your bag, But if you want to win a chip, it's not going to be in Chicago.
Oh no, not.
Unless they know something we don't know. I don't know. Unless they know something we don't know. But I don't see nothing going on in Chicago right now. Not for
No, not
another
at
like
all.
3 years, maybe. Maybe they tank this year, get something, but not even them drafting the best rookie. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
unless
Yeah,
something
it's not
happens
gonna
in free
happen.
agency. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know about this one, but yes. But that's going to be the end of the podcast for today. Today's
Yes,
Thursday, February
sir.
6th. So meet up again next week, Thursday, then. Next week, Thursday. And we'll talk
All
about
right,
all the
bet.
games from today, from February 6th all the way to, what is that? That's like the 13th. That's the 13th. That's the week,
The
day
13th.
before Valentine's Day. So it's going to be some
Ooh.
crazy stuff in the NBA. We already got the new trades that came in. So we'll get to see how they'll mesh up with their new teams and how they'll play for maybe 2 or 3 games. And we'll come back. We'll see you guys here on the 13th. New episode going to drop then. But that's D'Lo. I'm Jeremy, and thank you for tuning
Yes,
in.
sir.
And we'll see y'all next time.